Hi, I'm Matt Johansson. I lead social impact, and I'm the Chief Environmental, Social, and Governance Officer at Discover. Our corporate mission is to help people achieve brighter financial futures, and there's no better way for us to do that than to offer thousands of high-quality jobs in the communities of our hometown that have experienced decades of de-investment. Our Chatham Customer Care Center was born of the idea that large companies need to challenge our traditional ways of doing business in order to do our part to overcome centuries of bias, and with a belief that all Chicago's residents deserve the opportunity to work in good jobs with good benefits and in their own communities. And today, the Chatham Center is transforming Discover and making us a better company. It has opened our eyes to new possibilities, inspired us to take new approaches, influenced how we operate, and changed how we partner. Whatever our presence in Chatham might add to the community, we know that we've received much more in return. And we are eternally grateful that the community leaders, residents, and organizations such as the YWCA welcomed us to Chatham and provided key insights about how to support the needs and partner within the community. And we are thrilled to be honored by YWCA Metropolitan Chicago for corporate social innovation. With no further ado, I would like to introduce my colleague and partner, Watis Gathings, who leads the Chatham Center as our Director of Operations and Community Outreach.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such an honor to be here with you all today, and like Nicole, I am a girl from the South Side, so anytime I get the opportunity to talk about the amazing things happening in our neighborhoods, I get so proud and so excited for it. So if you guys will allow me a couple minutes, I'd love to share with you a little bit more about our journey in Chatham and how we got there, but also how we view this going forward. And lastly, I'll leave you guys with a call to action on how each of you guys can help us on our journey. For starters, back in 2019, our CEO, Roger Hochschild, attended a book signing from an author by the name of Ibram Kennedy. And the spirit of the book signing that day was about racism. And really the opposite of racism isn't not racist, it's being anti-racist. And anti-racism is everyone doing what they can using their own means to make the world a better place. And so as the CEO, as Matt mentioned in the video, Discover's mission is to help people spend smarter, save more, manage debt better in order to achieve a brighter financial future. And we've always thought about that mission in terms of our products and services, but Roger has really challenged us to think about that through jobs and economic opportunity, and what better place to do that than in our hometown where our jobs can matter the most. So in 2020, throughout the pandemic, across the country, every single facility we had was empty. Over 1 million square foot of office space was empty. And it was a surprise to our executive team when our CEO said he wanted to open up a 5th customer care center with the uncertainty of the pandemic. He wanted to do that not because it made sense at the time, but because it was the right thing to do, and he was so passionate in joining arms with Mayor Lightfoot and investing in South and West Side neighborhoods. And so our team got to work, and we couldn't be more thrilled that we landed in the wonderful community of Chatham. For those of you guys who don't know Chatham, Chatham is a rich and vibrant community with decades and decades of rich history of Black excellence. But over the course of time, there's been so much disinvestment in that neighborhood. Now, Mayor Lightfoot has called out 10 neighborhoods in particular that she's called for investment in. Chatham is not one of those 10 neighborhoods, but we are perfectly surrounded by 5 neighborhoods. So our work in Chatham consists of doing a lot of things to keep a hyper-local focus. Our work is essentially 4 pillars. The first one is jobs. Our customer care center will employ over 1,000 people by the end of 2024. We're super proud of that. Not only will our employees have full-time jobs with livable wages, but on day 1 of employment, all of our employees get access to free college tuition. That's books, fees, and tuition. In addition to that, those 1,000 jobs, we already have 500 dedicated employees who've joined us. Some of them are here with me today, and I'm so proud of them. Every day they come to work despite the challenges they may face in their neighborhoods to make Discover a better place, and they do a fantastic job. We have 5 customer care centers across the country. Discover hasn't opened up a customer care center in over 20 years, but I'm proud to share with you guys that our Chatham Operations Center is our #1 performing customer care center across all KPIs. We have a 99% African American workforce, 85% female workforce, 92% of our employees live within 5 miles of our centers, fully impacting the Invest Southwest neighborhoods, and I couldn't be more thrilled to lead such a powerful team of individuals. The second part of our work is really focusing on community, which is where critical partnerships like our partnership with Nicole and the YWCA is so critical. You know, we recognize as a large corporation that we don't have the answers. And it's organizations like the YWCA that's been serving neighborhoods for over 50 years. And it's our job as corporate citizens to do everything that we can to amplify their voices and the work that's already being done in our neighborhoods. We've partnered with over 50 community-based organizations. We have a Shine Bright Community Center that we love and proud of, where we've hosted over 210 events since we opened on August 1st, free of charge to the community, where they're able to further their programming, help build their capacity, and do things that are meaningful in order to help their organizations thrive. The third part of our work is this notion or this idea of a fair and just recovery. We recognize that Chatham is not a minority community, it's not a diverse community, it is a Black community. So we've done everything that we can to make sure every single dollar that we spend is invested back into the Chatham and surrounding communities. We spent over $30 million to reconstruct a former retail facility, and of that $30 million, we're proud to say we're awarded 76% of that spend to a Black, woman, or minority-owned business in order to reconstruct our facility. In addition to those things, our day-to-day operations facility, so everything from the balloons we hang up to the people who clean our facility to the landscapers, 96% of our everyday spend is awarded to a woman or minority-owned business, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have such meaningful partnerships. And I like to go off script a little bit, so I'll tell you guys my because of her story that recently inspired me. Back on October 26, just a couple weeks ago, myself and Matt Johansson was standing in the parking lot, and we unfortunately heard a couple of shots ring out outside of our facility. As we heard those shots, I went back into the facility, went on about my day-to-day work, and as I commonly do, I got a citizen's alert, and I saw that there was a casualty of a 25-year-old woman. I went about my day not thinking much about it, but still saddened from such horrific news. The next morning, I got the reports from the team of who didn't show up to class for our new hires, and unfortunately, that casualty was one of our brand new employees that had just started with us 72 hours prior. And when I spoke to her mother over the phone for the first time, I couldn't help but have my heart break, but through that, I got so inspired by what her mother told me. Rakisha was a 25-year-old woman who had recently graduated from Illinois State on a full academic scholarship. She had a life of possibilities straight ahead of her, and as I thought more and talked to her mother more about who she was, the thing that she told me was so inspiring and really helped me continue to fight this journey. She said that her daughter had been in college and started and stopped, but was always a good student, and her daughter had some troubles primarily watching her father pass away from cancer, and she said the last 72 hours of her life, her daughter was the happiest she had ever seen her. She said she was so grateful that Discover had opened a customer care center in Chatham, and she mentioned that there was the first time Rakisha felt like she was a part of a workforce that she belonged. She reinforced to me that when you do the right work and you put jobs where they matter the most, people can not only feel like they belong as a part of a neighborhood and a community, but they also then start to thrive. I'm so disappointed that Rakisha will not be able to realize the fullness of her career at Discover, but it's helped us as a company double down on our investment. And so my call to action to you is putting jobs where they matter the most is not a coincidence. While we started this journey thinking it was the right thing to do, we've learned it's the best business decision. Our performance, our culture, the way our employees show up every single day, we couldn't have imagined a better case scenario. So myself and Camille and the rest of our Discover team, we spend so much time talking to other corporations, nonprofits, doing whatever we can to leverage our full platforms. While we're proud of the 1,000 jobs that we have in Chatham, we know it's going to take far more than that to serve the dedicated and deserving residents of the South Side. So I'd ask all of you guys, no matter what your platform may be, we'd welcome a conversation with you guys to continue to advance the work that we're doing in our neighborhoods. Chicago is a great city, but Chicago deserves to be thriving in all 77 of our neighborhoods. So I would appreciate if any of you guys would reach out. We'd be happy to have a discussion with you. Thank you again, Nicole, for all the work that you and your team do. I'm so grateful to be a part of the YWCA family, and I couldn't be more thrilled to celebrate this day with you all. Thank you.